Hello, I'm live. What's up, Andre? Watching some Godzilla Final Wars. That's a great one, man. That's probably one of my favorites. I haven't seen them all. I'm like I said before, I'm still kind of a noob with Godzilla, but I'm getting there. I'm I've always liked the character, but I'm only kind of just trying to watch all 9,000 different movies. Anyways, how was everybody? I'll give a couple seconds here for people to come in, at least the handful of you that show up, which is awesome. So I have yet another stack of movies that I've accumulated, as you can imagine, as you're used to by now. Um, some of I got a stack of Blu-rays. I've been actually kind of upgrading some of my collection to Blu-ray lately, which is, I guess you could say, pointless, being 4K is coming into the fold. Uh, I've always been slow to upgrade. I remember like back when I used to play console games, like I had an Atari when everyone else had a Nintendo, and by the time I got a Nintendo, everyone else had a Super Nintendo or a Sega. So I'm that guy that's always I always have a car that's 10 years old or more. I don't know. I don't like upgrading. I always feel like I'm buying the same thing for, little benefit, even though there are, I don't know. I'm not a big, not a big resolution Nazi, I guess you could say. I just like to watch movies. I don't really care that much about the quality. But Blu-rays are cheap enough nowadays to where you can get them for, you can get them pretty cheap. I've looked at some of the prices on 4K discs and I'm just like, I'm not ready to go down that route. I don't want to spend 30, 40 bucks per movie. I don't know. I guess I could cut my, I could get better, what would you call it? Quality control. I could buy less duds and just focus on, more important movies. But so I think I also have a stack of movies that I bought for $1 a piece. So that's kind of cool. I've been kind of saving those for, and some of these I might have shown on some streams before. I don't remember. So I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. If I did show them, it's probably been months. So maybe I'll go through those fairly quick. I think I'll start with those. So all these movies I got for like $1. Some of them are movies I'd been wanting to see for a while, and then some of them I bought just because they were $1. And you know, I don't know. I've been kind of going through my collection lately and kind of getting rid of some of the duds. I'm gonna kind of slim down the duds because it's like when you buy movies for $1 or $2 a piece, you kind of end up with some duds. So we'll start off with, and I didn't take any notes, write down any dates or anything like that. So we'll just kind of go through it as we go. So from 2012, I've been kind of trying to complete the David Cronenberg collection. Big fan of that director. So I don't know anything about this movie. 2012 Cosmopolis. It's got. It looks like, I mean, back in 2012, I think David Cronenberg was aware that Robert Pattinson was a good actor before maybe a lot of people knew, because he is a good actor. He's great, or I think he's capable of doing great things. But yeah, don't know anything about this movie. I doubt it's a horror. It looks like you got Paul Giamatti, some other people in here. So Kevin Durand. I don't know. Could be interesting. And I got, this is a good deal for $1. I got the Criterion Collection Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, uh, Bill Murray movie. I've been wanting to see this forever. I'm the older I get, I become more and more of a Wes Anderson fan. I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson. I've always liked. I think one of my all-time favorite movies is The Royal Tenenbaums, and yeah, I don't know. As I get older, that guy's stuff just makes more and more sense to me. So yeah, I've been wanting to see this forever, and finally I have it. So not like I didn't have chances to. I always act like I don't have a chance to watch something if I don't own it. That's a weird attitude that I have, but so I've been kind of been trying out some anime here and there. I watched a little bit of anime back in the early '90s when I was a little kid, and I've always had people tell me like, "Dude, you would really like Cowboy Bebop." So I got some of these Cowboy Bebop DVDs. They're just random. I should just buy the whole. You can buy like a set of the whole series on Blu-ray for like $20, but so I just got some random episodes. I figure I would just kind of try out the show this way. If I like it, maybe I'll go buy buy the whole set. I love how one of the main characters is a corgi. I used to work with dogs, so I'm kind of a breed nut. Got another one there. What's up, Simon? Glad you showed up, dude. You just started a couple of minutes ago. We're going through my through my dollar movies that I picked up months and months ago. Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood. This is I watched this when I was like either a kid or a teenager. This is a really good Western. I'm not a big Western guy, but I like the more dark, moody ones. And I remember this being really, really good. So Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris. This had to be one of the earlier movies directed by Clint Eastwood because this was 1992. I don't think he was directing a lot of stuff back then. I could be wrong. I'm not the biggest Clint Eastwood guy. Classic, yeah, man. It's very good. It's very intense. I like the old Clint Eastwood stuff, like Sudden Impact, one of the Dirty Harry films. I've seen these years and years ago, but it's been a long time. Oh my God, I was like a little kid. All I watched when I was a little kid was action and comedy. So, yeah, that's and mostly action at that. Oddly enough, this next one I wanted to see for a long time, and you guys are going to be shocked that I haven't seen it. Kill Bill by Quentin Tarantino. I've never seen this. Obviously, I know about it. I've seen countless, parodies and stuff like that. I've seen the stuff that's been influenced by Kill Bill and Quentin Tarantino, but I've just never seen it. So I got part 1. I'll get part 2 next, but glad to have it. Fine. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just slow with things. Simon, you grew up with Eastwood? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen the Dirty Harry movies. I didn't really get into his Westerns until like the last couple of years. Because again, I'm not a huge Western fan, but his Westerns are really good. Whether he directed or not, the Dollars trilogy is amazing, actually. The spaghetti Westerns. Watched Kill Bill recently. I bet it holds up. From what I've heard, it's just, I think all Tarantino's movies are pretty timeless. I think they all hold up really great. I still watch, like Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Bastards. I still watch those all the time. Here's another one that's I watched a lot as a kid. This one's a little bit older than me. We got a Dragon Slayer. I haven't seen this for decades, so excited to rewatch that. Got classic Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Be exciting to rewatch those because I haven't seen these in decades. So some old favorites. I don't have any of the Star Wars movies on DVD, so I picked up A New Hope just randomly. Yeah, I love the original 3. Got another Dirty Harry movie, Magnum Force. I don't know if I've ever seen this one, to be honest. And actually, I don't really remember which Dirty Harry movies I've seen and which ones I haven't. So it'll be interesting to go through these, and I guess it doesn't really matter. I was so young when I saw them. It's like Andre's mom was a big Eastwood fan. That's cool. I think everyone's parents were, back then were Clint Eastwood fans. He was just like such a household name, This is a random one because this is the worst of the 3, but it's still pretty good. Godfather Part 3. Simon, you haven't seen the new Ghostbusters films? From what I've heard, you're not missing much. I don't know. I've heard that with the one remake, the first remake they did, I heard was pretty terrible. Then the most recent one I heard it's one of those movies that it's like enjoyable just for nostalgia, but not a very good movie, overall. I don't really have the motivation to see it. I mean, maybe if it's if it's just playing in front of me one day, I'd probably give it a watch, but I don't have the motivation to like actually seek it out and, give it time. And it's going to have to like, yeah, someone's going to have to sit me down and be like, hey, watch this with me. And then I'll do it. But I'm not going to watch it just over everything else I could be watching. What's up, Peter? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we got two people from England and one from Russia. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, all we got all the Europeans and UK people here. Um, Peter and Simon, I don't know what parts of England you guys live. I don't know. I don't think I ever really thought about that. It's not the biggest country, but it's got the north part, however you guys call it. You got the northern England, and you got the whatever's in the middle, and then the south. I guess every country's like that. The U.S. You got the U.S. I guess the U.S. is more long. It's more horizontal, so we more split it in half. But you got the south part and northwest. Okay. What's the biggest? What's the city that's nearest you? Like Newcastle or just throw out the names that I've heard. I would say Newcastle because that's where Venom were from. Um, Simon lives in the middle, so the middle of the U.S. We'd call that the. Usually we'd say the Midwest. That's kind of most of the middle, really. Like where Scott's from. All right, got another mobster movie. Well, another mobster movie called Mobsters. I when I was a teenager and a little kid, Manchester. Oh, okay. I loved gangster movies. I still do, really. This isn't one of the best, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You got Christian Slater, Patrick Dempsey, Richard Grieco, Costas Mandylor. Solid gangster movie from what I remember. Not top tier, but it's decent. Manchester rules. I know my local buddy John, his favorite soccer team is the Manchester United or whatever. I don't follow soccer or any sports these days. Been watching since you showed Unforgiven. Cool. You didn't miss much. Yeah, you didn't miss much. I showed like just a few before that. Nothing big. I'm showing all the movies that I picked up for $1 over the last couple of months. I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan, so I got. Despite I'm sure this is a terrible movie, but I bought it anyways. This was $1. Ghost Rider. I'm a big Ghost Rider fan of the comic, and Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite actors. So I figured I had to see what batshit crazy that was all about. Next, we got a classic buddy cop action comedy, Hot Fuzz. For you British guys, you probably are aware of this, although most Americans are aware of this. This was a pretty big movie when it came out. Just great. It's one of those movies where it's like, why haven't Simon Pegg and Nick Frost done more stuff together? They did Paul after this. Paul was a pretty good comedy, and those guys, when you get them together, they're just pure gold. And I don't know. Edgar Wright's a great director. I don't like everything he's done though. You don't like football, Peter? Yeah, I just don't. I never that even when I was into sports, that's one that I never cared about really. Ghost Rider is a great film. Cool. I mean, I've heard good and bad about it. I mean, I just love Nicolas Cage. Yeah, Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is so fucking good. I need to rewatch that. It's actually I haven't seen that since it came out in the theater, so that was over 10 years ago. Renfield, no, Nate. No, I've been meaning to see Renfield. I really wanted to see it in the theater. Didn't see it. Now it's out on DVD. I'll probably pick it up. But I heard it's a really, really good time. Shaun of the Dead, yeah, Peter. Shaun of the Dead was, I think, the first movie that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost were in. I think Edgar Wright directed that too. I could be wrong, but yeah, Hot Fuzz is amazing. Shaun of the Dead is amazing. I've loved that movie since day one. You watched it with your daughter? Yeah, I heard it's a blast. And some people are like, "Oh, it's not very good. Nicolas Cage sucks," or it's too linear. There's not, it's just all action and no substance. But I mean, what would you expect? I don't know. To me, it just sounds like it's a great gore movie. I've heard it's very bloody. And I got RoboCop. I already have this movie, so I just picked this up to probably send it to a buddy. Classic. I'm a big RoboCop fan. Peter Weller. Yeah, amazing. Watching Danger Mouse. Oh yeah, I remember Danger Mouse. Next, I got mostly got this movie for my son because he likes more of the newer end of horror, and I like some of that stuff too. He likes the newer, like, more modern mainstream type horror. So I picked up Amityville Horror Remake. I actually think this is a pretty decent movie. Ryan Reynolds is pretty good in it. I think he's a good actor overall. I'm not a huge fan of the original, anyways. So for me, it's like, I don't know. I found this to be a pretty good watch. RoboCop is classic, dude. It is such a classic. And I got this kind of an oddity, this French version of Watchmen. I don't know if it's dubbed in French. It hasn't been opened yet. Yeah, it's got all the yeah, on the back it's got some English and some French. I'm a big fan of this movie though. I just simply bought it because it was $1 and it was French. I didn't need it, but Watchmen. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but to me, this is probably the best, comic book movie. I know that's debatable. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was amazing. You like the remake? Yeah, Peter. I just never. I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't see the original Amityville like back when it came out. I think it's one of those movies you kind of had to see at a younger age to appreciate it because I don't know. I don't think it holds up super well, but that could just be a personal taste thing. I need to rewatch it though. I think it was about like 20 years ago when I first saw it, so it might have aged better and uh, than I'm thinking that it is or has. But have I seen the Watchmen show? Yeah, Nate. I bought the season and I watched like a couple episodes and I thought it was really good. I need to finish it though. Yeah. Uh, really liked what they did with all the lore and everything. Really, really cool. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder so I can get back on that. Back to some Tarantino stuff. Got Death Proof. Um, I thought this was great. I don't know if any of you guys saw this when it was in the theater. You got the Grindhouse duo. You got to see Death Proof and Planet Horror or Planet Terror back to back. That was a really, really one of my favorite like theater experiences, from back in the day. You don't get stuff like that these days. Um, wasn't my favorite of the two. I thought Planet Terror was a lot better, but Kurt Russell is in this, and I love Kurt Russell, so glad to have that. I haven't seen it since the theater. They don't hold up to you. Not yeah. I haven't seen any of the Amityville sequels. I actually have some of them. I need to give those a watch. I've heard some of them are good and some are bad. Death Proof is all talk. Yeah, Andre, you're not wrong. That's what I remember too. But I remember criticizing it for that, like, oh, it's just a bunch of people talking. But and I kind of dismissed it as just that. But then I don't know. Since then I've been told that I'm wrong. That I need to rewatch it. And it's a good movie. I guess you got to be into, and I like dialogue and stuff. It's got Tarantino's kind of sharp, snappy dialogue. I think it's one of those movies. If you watch it and you're expecting an action movie, you're going to be disappointed. There is some action, but yeah, there's a lot of. It's like 75-80% dialogue. Yeah, Planet Terror, it's just so over the top. Man, I love Tarantino. What a great director. All right, I got Pitch Black, another movie that I haven't seen for a long time, but remember really enjoying. Thought this was a really fun movie. I think it was the first Vin Diesel movie. I'm not a big fan of Vin Diesel, but I think this was his first movie, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was like his second. I don't know. Earlier days. Because this came out back in 2004. I thought it was older than that, but it's almost 20 years. All right, still in the dollar flicks. Taxi Driver. Here's a great one. Great Scorsese movie. Maybe it's hard to say my favorite Scorsese, but this is at least top 2 or 3. This is so good. Simon, you haven't seen the second one. Sorry, I got my camera in the way here. Haven't seen the second one. Yeah, the one with the mirror sucked. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Amityville sequels, but I want to. David Naughton. Yeah, I heard one. I think it was I don't know, either the second or the third one, which was Kind of controversial for the time because it had like a theme of like incest or something. But I heard that one, despite the fact, I heard that one was actually pretty good. Very dark and kind of, I don't know. I heard that one was pretty good for whatever reason. Oh, cool. Forgot about this. More Dirty Harry stuff. Here's the first Dirty Harry. Really excited to rewatch these. A lot of fun. And here's a movie that I wrote this one off back when it came out. Don't ask me why. I've been told so many times that I'm like stupid for doing that. So we got Drive. A lot of people will say this is one of the best movies of the last, 10 years or so. 2012, yeah, so it's a little over 10 years old. I don't know. I dismissed it. I think I dismissed it because just of the title. I thought it was like a racing movie, or just, I don't know. I just dismissed it for false reasons, basically. I've gotten a little bit better about, not just quickly dismissing things for reasons that don't exist. Then picked this up for $1. I couldn't just leave this sitting there. I got this cool Alien special edition. I figured maybe it's got some cool bonus features or something that I've never seen for $1. Hey, what's up, Spencer? Drive is amazing. Yeah, that's what I hear. Like I said, I'm an idiot for dismissing it when it came out. This is a pretty cool version. 2 discs. Like I said, it's probably got some bonus stuff on there that I've never seen. So, yeah, could not buy that for $1. Yeah, Nate, you should probably check Drive out too, like me. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. Yeah, the more that movie ages, the more good things I hear about it. And I people are still talking about it still, all these years. So that's a good sign. As you know, our attention spans have not gotten great over the years. If someone's talking about a movie, numerous people are talking about a movie 10 years later. That's a good sign. Pick this up kind of out of nostalgia. 13 Ghosts. I remember the story and acting and everything being not too great, but I remember the monsters looking really cool. I'd buy that for $1, Peter. I'd buy that for $1. I do like what's his name? I do like Matthew Lillard, so I figured this would be a fun kind of throwback to watch. Like I said, maybe not a great movie, but I thought the designs of the ghosts and stuff looked really cool. If you guys haven't seen that movie, just look up, just do like a Google image search and look up the ghosts from 13 Ghosts. They're all individually designed, a lot of creativity, and they're really cool. Valhalla by the same director, Drive. Spencer, are you talking about Valhalla Rising? I think you might be. I could be wrong though, because I think you mentioned that movie to me before. And yeah, that's a movie I've been meaning to see also for 10 years. Peter, you like 13 Ghosts? No, I forgot that was a remake. Yeah, I think it's a Vincent Price movie. Yeah, Spencer. Okay, yeah, Valhalla Rising. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, I meant to watch that movie way back when it came out, and it looked awesome. I still have. I've seen trailers for it recently on like old movies, and I'm always like, yeah, cool. Thanks for the reminder. All right. Got picked up Frozen, even though I remember not really liking it. This is a Adam Green movie. He directed the Hatchet movies, which I really liked. But I remember not liking this. It's about these kids who are skiers, and they're skiing over the weekend. They get stuck on a ski lift for the night while everyone goes home. So they're basically stuck out in like, sub-zero temperatures and trying to survive. Kind of a cool premise, I guess, but it's like, how much can you do with kids stuck in a ski lift? I don't know. I'll rewatch it. Peter I'm pretty sure it is black and white, the original 13 Ghosts, and I think Vincent Price is in it, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert with old movies like from 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, up even up into the 70s. I'm still like, I only know a little bit, but 13 Ghosts worthy of a second watch. Yeah, it's one of those horror from this time period, from the early 2000s, American mainstream horror, pretty bad. There's some gems, but most of it was pretty shit. Um, Big Mike Mignola fan, the guy that created Hellboy. So I picked up this animated movie, Amazing Screw on Head. I've seen some animated movies from put together from the Hellboy series, and they're pretty cool. Should be fun. You got Paul Giamatti doing some voice work here, David Hyde Pierce, Molly Shannon. Should be fun. Actually, I don't know how many comic fans I have here or any, but I actually met Mike Mignola years back at a Comic-Con. It was cool. He put up with me. He was grumpy. He was in a bad mood. Sometimes I've heard sometimes Comic-Cons, they don't always treat the guests, as well as they could. So I don't know. He seemed like he was kind of over it, but we all had bad days. 30 Days of Night. This is one of my favorite vampire movies ever. It's not a perfect movie, don't get me wrong, but it is. I just love it. It's flawed, but it's great. I think it's got cool vampires. You don't get like sexy, seductive vampires. They're just like murderous, they're almost like animalistic. They don't seem to talk, even except for the leader. You have the leader who's kind of he's kind of smooth and everything, but all the others are just like they might as well just be wild dogs, just murderous monsters. I love it. Watch it with your daughter. Cool. How old is your daughter, Nate? I got a 15-year-old son, and he's getting into horror too, so it's been fun. Speaking of early 2000s horror, although this one, I think this one holds up okay, House of Wax. One thing I didn't learn until many years later is this is a Tourist Trap remake. It just without the name. This was supposed to be a Tourist Trap, full-on Tourist Trap remake, but for some reason, after it was filmed, they weren't able to use the name, so they called it House of Wax. So again, it came from an era of really bad movies, and it has a lot of the really bad tropes, like with the shitty, stupid American teenagers. But I think it holds up okay. Oh, 15, Nate? It's cool. Yeah. My son just turned 15 last month, so just barely 15. Yeah, Peter. Yeah, that's a yeah. So you would think this was a House of Wax remake. I think it basically, it's not though. That's kind of confusing, isn't it? I think they gave it the House of Wax name just because they were able to get the rights or something like that to that name, but they weren't, for some reason, they weren't able to get the Tourist Trap name. It's really weird. I only just recently learned that, and I was really shocked. But now I'm going to rewatch it with in mind that it being a Tourist Trap remake. But it was funny though, because when I watched it the first time, I was like, man, this really reminds me of Tourist Trap. So anyway, yeah, I guess it makes sense after all. Yeah, Vince, yeah. Devil's Rejects. I actually like Rob Zombie's movies. I hate his music, because I'm sure we all do. But I think his movies are good. I don't think I've seen one that I didn't like. Some of them are less good, but I think this is one of the better. Just good exploitation, kind of 70s throwback, very gritty, ultra violent, totally just not safe. I like how Rob just kind of doesn't care about, doesn't worry about offending people or anything, just kind of knows how to make a good gritty, movie. You haven't seen Tourist Trap? Yeah, Peter, Tourist Trap's great. I love it. It's I just watched it recently. I think it holds up really well. I think you'll like it for sure. I don't see why you wouldn't, knowing your taste. Going back to action that I grew up with in the 90s, Death Wish, not a 90s movie, but I watched it in the 90s. This is one of my favorite like revenge films. Charles Bronson. It's great. Great movie. Recently watched his Halloween movies. Thought they were good. Yeah, dude. Same here. I don't understand why they get so much hate. It's like, I think people just, I think people just want to tear down a remake no matter what. I think most people, or a lot of people, just don't even really give it a proper chance. I like the first one a little more than the second one, but I watched the second one recently. I actually thought it was pretty. I think it holds up pretty well. It's very violent. No, I haven't seen the Bruce Willis uh, Death Wish, Peter. Is it any good? Or I know that was still kind of before Bruce had the trouble that he has now with his memory and stuff. That was still when he was still of good mind and everything. Quite like the remake, Simon. Cool. I mean, I grew up with Bruce Willis, so yeah, I'm sure if it's Bruce Willis being the Bruce Willis that we love, yeah, I'm sure it's good. uh, Bruce was one of my favorite, 90s, 80s, 90s action heroes. Going back to the anime stuff, I've heard really good things about this series, Guyver. It's supposed to be really cool. I don't know if anyone here is into anime. My son is. I'm kind of getting into some. Stallone, First Blood. I have this on VHS, but I didn't have a DVD copy, so I got the Ultimate Edition. I don't know what's ultimate about it, but you know how they did with DVDs back then in the early 2000s. Everything was like the Ultimate Edition or Collector's Edition. It's like they'd put it on every single movie. So that's all my dollar stuff. I think next I'll get into Blu-rays. I've been buying more Blu-rays lately than I ever have, really. I'm good at finding bargains, though. Love the Rambo films. Yeah, man, me too. I love all of them. Some more than others. Three's not the greatest. The most recent one, 5, that's not the greatest either, but I think they're still worth watching. All right, Blu-rays. Demons 2. Had my good buddy Rick from the Dreadful Minutes sent me the first Demons, like a year ago or so. So I've been meaning to get the second one. Yeah, Lamberto Bava. Not as good as the first one, but it's still pretty good. It's decent. It's worth owning. Oh yeah, watched this recently. Has anyone seen Possessor? This is probably one of the better movies of the last 5 or 10 years. The funny thing about this is there's 2 versions. This is the regular version. There's an uncut version that's got a yellow cover. So I would recommend you guys don't make the mistake I made. If you're gonna check this movie out, try to make sure it's the uncut version, because it's apparently it's a lot better. So I liked it a lot still, but from what I've been told, yeah, I kind of cheated myself. But so this is a Brandon Cronenberg movie, who's the son of David Cronenberg, and he is just killing it. He's done 3 movies so far, and yeah, he's just knocking it out of the park. I'm really, obviously David's not gonna be around too much longer directing. I think he's 80, 82. I mean, I'd be surprised if he even did one more movie. So now we got his son, kind of taking the mantle, and I think his son shows every bit of promise that David, showed in the early days. So then you got Cobweb. This is a pretty recent one. This one was in theaters only just a couple of months ago. I thought this was really, really good. I thought this was a blast. I don't want to really talk about it and I'll probably give stuff away by accident, but let's just put it this way. It's a really good Halloween movie. It's got a very, fall/Halloween type feel to it. And I would definitely recommend checking this out sometime this month. I think you'll appreciate it. A couple of these were sent to me by a buddy. So I haven't seen all of them, but Hangman from 2015 looks like it's a found footage. I actually I like a good found footage movie. Some of them are bad, but when they're good, I think they're really good. So I think when they're done right, they're very creepy. But it's just, obviously it's an overdone thing. Yeah. I got a triple feature horror here. Got Scar from 2007, got Terror Trap 2009, and Midnight Movie from 2008. I've heard Midnight Movie is actually pretty good. I don't know too much about the rest. Scar, I've heard, is a pretty good gore movie, kind of like in the vein of Saw, like torture porn type gore. I don't know. It's not my favorite style, but I'll watch it. Nate, yeah, I've seen Willow Creek. I watched that a couple of years ago. Definitely had a very Blair Witch feeling. That scene near the end I thought was pretty intense, and I did not understand the ending at all. I've always I need someone to explain that to me. Yeah, the very ending, like when they the dude drops the camera and you see like a naked, like a really creepy naked lady. I don't know. I didn't really understand that, but maybe I need to rewatch it. I just remember being kind of baffled. Like you didn't see a Bigfoot. I just thought maybe the Bigfoot has people working for him or something. They bring people to him. I don't know. Here's another good movie. This is another gem from this year. Talk to Me. I just picked this up. This just came out, I think Friday or something. Just came out recently. Really good. I love A24 movies. They're taking the ladies as slaves. Yeah, that's kind of what I was guessing. Yeah, has anyone seen Talk to Me? I saw this in the theater. Thought it was pretty awesome, so I couldn't wait to see it again. I haven't rewatched it yet, but definitely a gem from this year. Highly recommended. Watched this one the other night. It was watchable. Nightshade. It's got Lou Ferrigno's son, Lou Ferrigno Jr. He's not a great actor, but his dad wasn't either. I got Jason Patric, who was barely in it. It's one of those things where it's like they got Jason Patric to be in their movie, but they could only use him for maybe 5 minutes. So he's in like 2 scenes. Again, it's a watchable movie, but it's not very good. Kept my attention. I don't know. Here's another found footage. Apartment 143. Again, watchable, not very good. I don't know. This one kind of missed the mark for me. I get what they were trying to do, but it's just they didn't pull it off. It's kind of a Paranormal Activity type, one of those types of movies, but not very good. And I like the Paranormal Activity movies, the first 3, but I'm fine with them. Back to Wes Anderson, another Wes Anderson film, Isle of Dogs. Everyone knows I'm a dog guy. I've heard this is great. Haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I've been wanting to see it ever since it was in the theater. Didn't get the chance to, but I will now. It's a nice DVD, a nice Blu-ray. Clearly, I have a lot of stuff to watch. I like Severin Films. I love how they, dig up old, just random old movies and re-release them. So a lot of stuff that we've never heard of. At least I've never heard of. This is from '89 originally. Alien from the Abyss. I bought this because I saw this. I don't know if any of you guys watch Red Letter Media. If you don't, you should. For me, I think they're the gold standard for film review. Personally, at least they're my favorite. So they have a series that they do. It's called Best of the Worst, where they pick a bunch of really bad movies. They all get together and watch them, and then everyone picks the one that they liked the most. And this was one of the movies in Best of the Worst. So I don't even think this is the one that they picked. So it's maybe not very good, but I bought it just because of that reason. And it's a Severin, I like to collect the Severin stuff. Decided to upgrade my copy of The Witch. Decided to get a Blu-ray copy, upgrade my old DVD. You either have seen this or you haven't at this point. I mean, this movie's had a lot of talk over the last 8 years. Came out in 2015. Most people, I feel like, that I know really liked this, but there's some people that absolutely hate it. I think it's great. This was Robert Eggers' first film. I mean, if you like this, I mean, just imagine this being the first film you ever did. I mean, Nate, you need to watch it. Yeah, dude, I think it's great. He did The Lighthouse after this, which I also thought was great. And then after that, he did the Northman, which I haven't seen yet. But yeah, I think this absolutely lives up to the hype. I think this movie's amazing. Got a full moon, well, sort of a full moon movie, Mania Killer. Full Moon, they kind of had this series where they got the license to like some European movies, and they re-released them under the Full Moon name. So this is a French film, but it's got Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors was in Tourist Trap. He was the villain, and he's he's great. Robert Ginty, he's been in a lot of schlocky, low budget films over the years. From the director of Burial Ground, Andre, I know you've seen Burial Ground. I think if I remember correctly, Burial Ground is Dr. Butcher, MD. I think that's another name that it goes by. It's okay. Burial Ground's all right. It's not great. Let's see. Buddy sent this to me. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's an A24 film, which I'm a big A24 fan. I guess this is like a horror comedy, as it says on the front. Heard it's pretty good. Don't know anything about it. So, yeah. I think A24's quality controls is pretty top notch. That's just my opinion. I think if anything that they're willing to put their name on, I think it's most likely going to be pretty good, or at least of a high quality. I feel like their standards in general are very high. I think I talked about this one last time, so I apologize. Yeah, Andre, I thought you told me that. Yeah, so I might have shown this last time, VFW. Pretty sure I did. Great movie. Check out this, and check out all the movies Joe Begos has directed. I'm going to be reviewing all of them on my channel. I think I've done okay, I haven't uploaded anything yet, but yeah, I'm gonna be reviewing every movie he's done. He's only done like 5 or so, but I'm gonna review them all. He did that. This is another Joe Begos film, Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Very enjoyable. Terminator throwback. Loved it. All right, then we got some standard DVD stuff. And this is the last of it. This is the last stack. I'm not huge on, like the Animal Attack horror movies. I don't know why. Well, for numerous reasons, I'm not a big fan, but picked up Grizzly. I've heard this is really good. It's an old 1976. Got this pretty nice double disc version. I don't know. I've heard it's good for what it is. I don't like the animal movies because it's always like some dumbass humans get attacked by an animal because they were in their territory. So now he's a monster and they have to kill it. I don't know. I just don't like seeing even the monstrous animals. I don't really like seeing them get killed. So yeah, or maybe I'm a softie when it comes to animals, but I got this vampire movie here. Shed, this was recommended to me. I can't remember by who, but someone. Heard it's pretty decent. Picked it up for pretty cheap. This came out in 2020. It's about these two dudes who they're younger dudes. They've been bullied their entire lives, and they somehow trap a vampire in their shed. And that's all I really know about it. I've just heard that it's good. The Shed is funny. Oh, you've seen it, Simon? I don't remember who recommended it to me. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I keep thinking about it. I've been trying to collect the films from Lucky McKee. So Lucky McKee has done stuff like, let's see, as far as what you might know, he's not really like a mainstream director. He directed a movie called May. It's called May. It's about this girl who works she's like a veterinary assistant, and she's very awkward. She doesn't know how to make friends, and she ends up just kind of she gets kind of bullied by people, in her general life, and she just kind of is sick of it one day and goes goes on kind of a murder rampage. I don't know. That's kind of the gist of it. But I think that's Lucky McKee's best movie. He's done some other stuff, but picked up The Woods. Yeah, you saw May, Spencer. Yeah, very dark. Very. I love Angela Bettis. She's the actress that plays May. Love her. Love her to death. Nate just finished Signs. Oh shit. Yeah, family fucked over the dog. Yeah, you're right, dude. Yeah, I fucking hate. That's like my pet peeve in movies where, for whatever reason, like a dog or a cat gets killed, and it's so stupid. It's always like to show how cruel somebody is. I mean, just if you want to show how cruel they are, just have them go kill a human. I don't know. I think it's tasteless personally. It doesn't need to be in any movie. But yeah, The Woods. So not only is it a Lucky McKee movie, I saw Bruce Campbell's name on here, and I was all over it. So The Woods wasn't as good. Yeah, I didn't hear anything like that it was great or anything. I just bought it because of Lucky McKee and Bruce Campbell. Hopefully, it's at least worth a watch. Here's another Lucky McKee movie, and this is kind of has something to do with what I was just talking about. But we got Red with Tom Sizemore, Brian Cox. I love Brian Cox. So this is about an old man whose best friend is a dog, and it's about teenagers killing his dog and him getting revenge on over the death of his dog. Hopefully the dog killing part is not graphic. If you're gonna do it, just imply it. You know what I mean? Just you can imply it, and I guess I can get over it. But I definitely don't want to see any kind of. I don't want to see it. And this is based on a Jack Ketchum novel, so it's going to be graphic. Jack Ketchum was known for writing. What would you call it? I don't want to say true crime, but more like realistic, like terrible things that actually happen. Like he's written stuff about, like child abuse and stuff like that. But he definitely goes into detail, and he doesn't hold back. And his writing is very dark and very graphic. Red. Simon, you've seen Red. Damn, Simon, you're smoking me today. John Wick style. Yeah, Nate, I didn't even think about that. Jesus. I didn't even think about John Wick, but you're right. I guess it's like that, but not an action movie. I don't think he's an ex-hitman or anything in this, but now here's another one that's been recommended to me by numerous people, and this was funny because people were recommending this to me all in like the same week or two time period, and I'd never heard of it before. Dr. Giggles. I don't know. One of you guys, someone recommended this to me. So you got Larry Drake, who's great. I love Larry Drake. He played the mob villain in Darkman. So I like him from that. And he was in a bunch of other stuff too. So he plays the villain in this. And I don't know. I had so many people recommend it to me. I had to pick up a copy. It's got to be at least decent. Peter, it's an awesome film. You've seen it? Yeah, I've only heard nothing but good. A lot of these have been recently on Film 4 over here. Oh, okay. Simon, I think you just don't sleep. You're like a machine. You're watching movies, you're listening to music. You probably have other stuff going on that you have to do. Yeah. Peter, you saw. Oh, yeah. Andre. Yeah. You recommended it to me, and a couple other people did. Simon did too. Yeah. Both of you. And then I swear, like 2 or 3 other people, all in the same month. It was crazy. Picked up this John Carpenter Masters of Horror. You guys probably all remember the Master of Horror series. It was pretty cool. Almost 20 years ago, I think that was 2005. Yeah. So you had a bunch of like famous horror directors. They all basically directed an episode. They're not full-length films. They're like an hour long, I think. 59 minutes. Yeah. Some of them were good. Some were not too great, but the concept behind it was cool. I'm a big John Carpenter fan. I've heard this is one of the better additions to that series. Picked up Jason X. Had to get this because I had to complete my my Jason collection. I'm gonna be I've been marathoning the Friday the 13th movies for a. I'm gonna do a ranking video with a buddy of mine. So had to get this. I'm sure it's not good, but Nate, do I have a favorite Carpenter film? Yep, I do. I go to the Thing every time. Thing's my when I think of Carpenter, I just jump right to the Thing. That's like my go-to. Yeah, absolutely my go-to. I mean, I also love, I love Big Trouble in Little China. Oh man, original Halloween. Those are probably my top three. But for me, the Thing is like his ultimate masterpiece. I don't know. I've shown that before. Here's a movie that I've been curious about for a long time. Quentin Tarantino's talked about it a lot. It's one of those movies that's talked about a lot as being an all-time classic. Japanese film. I'm a big fan of Japanese cinema, so Battle Royale. I didn't pick it up for the longest time, just because I mean I know what it's about. It's about a bunch of like kids that have to kill each other, and like I don't know. I'm a dad. I never really wanted to see kids die, but I heard it's a really really good movie. Whether you are okay with the subject material or not. I've heard it's a classic, amazing film, directed by Kinju Fukasaku. Yeah, heard it's great, many 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 times over. Yeah, Peter, the thing is just an all time classic for me. Um, every time I watch it, I just get the same feeling. I'm never tired of that movie. Nate, you watch Battle Royale? Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've only heard nothing but great things over the last 20 years. Sometimes it takes me a while to get to shit. Pick this up. I guess this is. I mean, I don't expect this to be great, but we got Tom Holland's Twisted Tales. It's an anthology movie. Tom Holland's the guy who directed Chucky or Child's Play, not the Chucky show, but he directed Child's Play. He directed Fright Night, so he's done some classic stuff. And I like anthologies. I was talking earlier about Angela Bettis, and she's in this, at least in one of the episodes. So yeah, I figured it was worth picking up. It looks like it's also got Danielle Harris, William Forsythe, so it's got some pretty good actors. Yeah, I love a good anthology. Whether or not this is one, we'll see. I'm sure I'll get something out of it. Have I seen Joint Security Area? No. Is that a Japanese film? That sounds like something. That sounds like a Japanese title. Like doesn't translate perfectly to English. I'll be looking it up though now that you mentioned it, especially if Tarantino's into it. Here's a recent one that I was kind of curious about when it came out. Oh, Korean? Oh, even better, man. Korean cinema's awesome. Over these last 20 years, there's many Korean gems. I don't know what it is, something in the water over there, but yeah, Korean, Korean cinema is great. I'm sure you've all seen Old Boy, but that's like the gold standard for most people when they talk about Korean cinema. Just recommend Old Boy. It's a great movie. Um, what's the other one? I Saw the Devil's pretty good. I could go on. Picked up Scare Package. I heard this was kind of a fun kind of throwback type horror. I think it takes place in the 90s, something like that. But I heard it's fun. There's been a sequel recently. I'll probably check that out too. If I like this, I'll check out the sequel. It's a Shudder original, which I think there's been a lot of good Shudder originals. They haven't all been great, but I think they've done a pretty decent job at you know the movies that they bought. I think they've done a pretty good job with quality control. As to what they'll put their name on. Pretty decent. The cover has a house vibe. Yeah, I love the cover to this. Total. Yeah, check it out. It's very 70s 80s throwback. I was definitely felt drawn to that. All right, I only got a couple of more. Got This is a throwback to my childhood back in the 80s, going to video stores and just looking at VHS tapes. I couldn't, whether or not I could rent everything, it was cool just to, browse. I would go through my mom would take me to the video store. Sometimes she'd just drop me off and she'd go run her errands, and I would browse every movie in the whole store. I would go by one and just take in all the cover art and everything. And so yeah, Ghoulies. This was one that I didn't see this for many years, but this is one that would always catch my eye at the video store. I mean, you're a little kid, of course, that's going to catch your eye. This is from 1985. So this was produced by Charles Band, who started Full Moon Pictures. He did, before Full Moon, he had a company called what was it called, Empire. So yeah, I don't know how he this was like a major motion picture. Like, this played in theaters and stuff like that, which a lot of Full Moon films did not get theatrical releases. At least I'm pretty sure this played in the theater. 85. Yeah, this is, yeah. Yeah, Charles Band just produced it. He did some directing too. I don't know. Not the greatest director, but I love Full Moon. Anyways, I got the second Ghoulies as well. Yeah, this is also an Empire's picture. This is directed by Albert Band, who I think was related to Charles. I think might have been one of his brothers. I know his other brother, Richard, he did some music for some of the films. But these are a lot of fun. Both of these. I love movies with, like, I think some people call them tiny terror movies, like, Gremlins, Critters. There's a lot. It's kind of like a genre of its own, or a subgenre of its own. Let's see, catch up on the comments. Yeah. All your friends. Simon, were you talking about Ghoulies? Yeah, Simon, how old are you? I think you're probably my age, I would guess. Give or take a year or two. I'm 41. How old are you, Peter? I think, are you 50? I know you've told us before. You watched Puppet Master on VHS. Yeah, I like the early Puppet Master movies. They're a lot of fun. I mean, some of them are terrible, but they're fun anyways. I don't know. I got a soft spot for them for whatever reason. Simon, you never saw Ghoulies? Simon's 46, Peter's 48. There we go. Just a little older than me. Well, anyways, guys, this is kind of a short one, but that's all the movies that I bought over the last couple of months. I enjoy doing these streams, so maybe I'll come up with some other ideas, and maybe I'll do maybe one every 2 weeks or something like that, because it's just fun to get you guys in here and chat and stuff. It's cool. Maybe I'll do a music one or something. I'll come up with something. Come up with an idea. I always got ideas rolling around. Simon, maybe we could do a collaboration or something. We could figure something out. But anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. I got a whole bunch of I got many videos coming up. I've got like 20 videos that I've recorded over the last few months that I just kind of slowly upload, but I've been enjoying it lately. So yeah, take care, guys. I'm out of here.